silver or gold? Breaking down what to buy depending on your budget. Buy your precious metals online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold and silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching Yankee Stacking. First, a quick Tim Marsher update. Tim is doing okay. He's still in a lot of pain from breaking 2 ribs in a fall on a patch of ice, but he's healing slowly. Tim will be 80 years old on March 6th, and I don't know of a tougher man. He so desperately wants to open up his shop again to customers, but he's not quite ready to do that yet. He has a lot of shipments to get out. So I joined him last week to help him pick and pack items for shipment. I mean, he has a hard time lifting with his left arm, so I did all that. And then I took him out to dinner, and we talked about when he hopes to reopen the shop and also some needed changes to his store hours. More on that in my next video with him. So keep those well wishes coming, those prayers. Really, thank you so much for that. And Tim will be back soon, I promise. But last week, I also had the wonderful opportunity to help an older couple, friends of our family, understand what physical silver and gold are all about. They had never bought a single ounce of bullion. The wife also had this question for me. Yankee, I have a couple $1,000s I want to convert into precious metals. Should it be all silver? Should I get a little bit of gold? What should I do? That reminded me of a video I made back in May of 2023. And at that time, gold was $2,022 an ounce. Silver was just $24 an ounce. And while I still like the buy ratios for each budget level that I discuss in the video, gold has gone up 2.5 times. Silver has risen 3.5 times. So I needed new guidance, and I gave that to them, and I decided I would update this video. So I've 3x'd all the dollar values. I've updated the numbers on the screen to help you out too. So if you remember this video from 2023, put I remember in the comments below. And if you're new to my channel, just enjoy this video for the first time. Also check out my popular playlist called Help for New Stackers. That link is in the description below. And don't forget to hit that like button too. Really appreciate it. Hey everyone, thanks for watching Yankee Stacking. Silver or gold? That's the question I get asked almost every day. And in this video, I'm going to give you a detailed breakdown on what to buy depending on your budget. I'm talking a percentage split between physical silver and gold and what you should buy. Now, I'm not going to talk about the specific types of silver and gold. I've done that in many other videos, but I will mention a few that I think make a lot of sense. First, I have to give you some assumptions. All right, these are really important. I'm going to say that you need to have a 7-year time horizon. In other words, are you willing to not even think about selling your silver or gold until 2030? Or, like me, potentially never sell your silver and gold for fiat currency, paper or digital. At least 7 years. That's my assumption. If you're not willing to consider that, then what I'm about to say might not make sense to you much at all. A good way to gauge if you have that kind of time horizon is to ask yourself this question and be honest with yourself here. Do you check the spot price of silver and or gold every day or multiple times a day, even when you're not planning on buying anything? You don't want to be hypersensitive to the daily spot price of silver and gold. My next assumption is that you know that precious metals are not a way to get rich. I've said this so many times. I'm sounding like a broken record, but you need to invest elsewhere if you're trying to radically grow your wealth. Silver and gold aren't that, all right? They're wealth insurance. Gold and silver are wealth insurance and a potential barter medium, and that's an assumption you really need to have. Finally, I'm going to assume that you have a moderate risk tolerance. I know this can vary widely with age and experience, but I have to pick a risk level. So I'm going to say a medium risk tolerance. If you're interested in a more detailed assessment of that, Yeah, you could consider a Yankee Candle membership where we can discuss your specific risk tolerance. But those assumptions are important. One more thing before I give you my breakdown. There are extremes either way, okay, with silver and gold. Just like my entire financial portfolio, I like to diversify. Okay, silver bugs might say you should put all your money into silver and forget about gold. Oh, come on, Yankee, the upside is so great. Just look at the gold to silver ratio, blah, blah, blah. And there are gold bugs that say silver is completely worthless, Yankee. You should just buy gold. I'm going to strike a middle ground here. I like both silver and gold for similar yet distinct reasons. If you have less than $1,000 worth of fiat currency that you want to put into precious metals, I think it should be all in on silver, 100%. Now, I know it's tempting to get into gold when you have a small budget. Maybe I should buy, a gram or one of these 10th ounce gold American Eagles. Stick with silver. Now, this will also probably be the target range for newer stackers, or at least younger stackers, I should say. You don't have maybe a lot of money to spend right now on precious metals, but you do have a long-term time horizon to play the silver to gold ratio to deal with the greater volatility that comes with silver. So even though you might be tempted at $1,000 or less to get a little bit of gold, don't do it. Between $1,000 and $5,000, I think a 20-80 split makes sense. This is where I think you start getting into adding some gold into your stack. Look at the quarter ounce of gold. Buy one of these, maybe a Canadian gold maple leaf, and then put the rest into silver. You could also get a quarter ounce eagle. That's a great first coin to get, in my opinion, or maybe two if you're closer to the $5,000 range, but nothing smaller than a quarter ounce. Now, the temptation to buy more gold might be great, but I think you should stick mostly with silver in this range. Silver rounds, silver bars, 90% silver, maybe a few sovereign or government minted silver coins like the American Silver Eagle or Canadian Maple Leaf, but just go easy on that last category, the sovereign silver. It's expensive right now. Okay, so what about between $5,000 and $25,000? I think a 40-60 split makes sense here. 40% gold, 60% silver. So maybe this is the time to get your first 1 ounce gold coin. Get the American Gold Eagle, get a Buffalo, a Britannia, whatever. And then maybe 2 or 3. Gold maples are good. You might want to check out those. They tend to be less. And then the rest, again, in silver. The point is, this is where you start to see the benefit in terms of premiums with the larger gold pieces, the 1 ounce, and just how much wealth can be stored in a little box like this. By the way, these boxes are cool. If you're interested in checking out how you can get one of these, I'll put a link in the description. I don't get any kickback or anything on them, but they're really, really cool boxes to store silver and gold in. All right, so let's get to the next level, $25,000 to $50,000. So this is where we're entering my 50-50 split. Maybe you score an entire tube of quarter ounce gold coins, like my maple musket. The gold Canadian maple there. That's beautiful. And the rest in silver. That's on the low end, around the 25,000 mark. As that increases, you can add up to maybe a half dozen 1 ounce gold coins, like a 1 ounce gold Buffalo or one of the Britannias. Whatever gets you the lowest price per ounce of gold. You decide, but then use the remainder to buy more silver. All right, now we're at $50,000 to $100,000. I think a 60-40 split makes sense here. That's a tube of 1 ounce gold coins, like my Yankee Cannon here. Yeah, a whole tube. There's 20 of them in there. and then add on some single gold coins as well, and then buy the rest in silver. At this price point, you really shouldn't be buying fractional gold. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe just get a few for fun. There's some coins I have in here that are quarter or less than a quarter ounce, but be careful with the extra premiums. You don't need at this range to be buying fractional gold. Remember, any potential barter will largely be with the silver, not the gold. And then finally, over $100,000. And at this point, I think an 80-20 split, 80% gold, 20% silver is the way to go here. You still need to be accumulating your precious metals in tranches or in stages. Don't just plop down $100,000 on a bunch of gold and silver all at once. That said, in my opinion, you should be looking at multiple tubes of gold, 2 tubes of 1 ounce gold coins at the low end, and again, the rest in silver. I mean, 20 grand is still a lot of silver. And if you're talking a lot more than 100,000, let's say $250,000 in precious metals, keep going with that 80-20 split. Frankly, at this level, I wouldn't want to dedicate a room of my house or 3 big safes to a bunch of physical silver. I want to stack more dense than that. In fact, stacking dense is one of the tenets of stacking the Yankee way. Well, I hope this video helped you out with buying silver or gold and breaking it down depending on your budget. Please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I hope your day is A-OK.